Alright, welcome back to Rob's Garage Woodworking. Today I'm just going to talk a little bit about camping hacks. Now, you know, if you're going to go to a campground or whatever and you're going to camp in a tent or a trailer, I've got a few hacks that you might be interested in. Camping lists. So this one is a camping clothes list, you know, pants, pajamas. You have this, you just make one up on your computer on Microsoft Excel or whatever, and then every time you go camping you print one of these off, and then you don't have to think, oh, did I get everything for camping? Because you'll know, because it's on the list. And if, for example, you're camping and you say, oh damn, I wish I had this, just add it to your sheet, and when you go home plug that into your computer and add it for later. Another thing we have here is another camping list. This one's far more extensive. Dog section too. So food, equipment, kids, personal, adult, and dog. Alright, an indispensable tool I find for camping is a Swiss Army knife. You've got your corkscrew, you've got, you know, knife blades, can opener, scissors, toothpick. Some food hacks. Take kind of, you know, you don't want to starve when you're out there, you don't want to be hungry, but take just what you need. So like this Rubbermaid container here, I have sugar in it. So I would take just enough sugar for my coffee. With, you know, your coffee, you can bring coffee in a Bodum, which is really great. But I've just gone to like the instant coffee. So I get this Taster's Choice instant coffee. I find the Taster's Choice is my personal preference. I like that the best. Egg holders. So you can get one of these fancy egg holders. You can get one that holds 6. You can get one that holds 12. Another thing that you can do, it's pretty neat. I've seen it on the internet. I haven't actually done it because we don't really, we've never needed it. But you can take a water bottle, and what you do is you crack your egg, you open it up, and you put it in a bowl, and you squish your water bottle, and you put it in there, and then you expand the water bottle as you have it up to the egg in the bowl, and it'll actually suck the whole egg into the water bottle, and you can fit like 4 or 5 eggs in a water bottle. And if you wanted to, if you're going to make French toast, for example, you could put the milk in, like you could whip it all up, put the milk in it, and put all that into the water bottle, and then put a lid on it and take it camping with you, and then you're all ready for your French toast or your scrambled eggs, whatever you're having, right? Another thing that we do is, let's say you have some, you know, some vegetables, just peaches and cream, whole kernel corn, or some beans to go with one of your meals. You can open these up, and you can actually heat them up in the barbecue. So you can just heat them in the can. You don't have to bake this stuff. You don't have to cook it for long. You're just warming it up. So because of that, you can just open the can up and then heat it up in your barbecue. That's quite often what happens with us, so you don't have to dirty another pot or whatever. Or if you don't have a pot, you can just cook it in the can. So again, with size savings, you can get like small containers of cream. Another thing you can take, which is pretty cool, are these Knorr sidekicks. They have a variety of flavors. They have rice too, so you could get, like, this one is Mexican rice, which is cool, and then you've got a variety of different pasta ones, like this one is sour cream and chive, and there's, you know, a variety anyway. Pretty good. Just little add-ons, and you just boil them in water and then add the sauce to it and you're good. There's Ziploc bags. These Ziploc bags are really handy for when you are you have leftover food, for example, or after you open your bacon. You can't put it back into the cooler because, you know, it'll get all wet with all the ice and all the water that's in your cooler. So you can package it in one of these Ziploc bags. That keeps it dry. And also, if you have any leftover food, you can put that, like your leftover hamburgers or hot dogs, can go in a Ziploc bag. The kids want to reheat it later. Alright, so one of the things that we noticed when we had kids, we had baby wipes all the time, and then we went camping without them, and we really missed them. Turns out we use baby wipes for all sorts of things. And they're really great because your hands are usually dirty when you're camping and when you're cooking and all this stuff. You have to clean your hands all the time. So I find, you know, we get a package of baby wipes before we go camping for the season. And graham cracker cookies. So these are the Cadillac of s'mores, so to speak. These ones will give you a better tasting s'more. It won't be any cleaner, I'll tell you that. and baby wipes, right? Baby wipes. So, but the kids will love this stuff, and they're a little bit smaller, and they're in a nice package. You don't have to worry about. The nice part about these two is when you go camping, you open a box of like graham crackers or whatever, and they get moist, like they get damp in the weather, and then they don't taste good. They're kind of soggy and gross. So these are coated in a protective layer of chocolate. So they don't go gross on you. So a good value here. Just keep them out of the sun. Keep them somewhere cool if you can. Okay. To keep your cooler cold, you can marinate your meat and freeze it in one of these Ziploc bags. If you're taking bacon, there's some female bacon here. Freeze it, and then that will keep your cooler longer. So you can bring water with you with one of these containers. Another way to bring water, it's kind of a neat way, is to have like an old pop bottle or whatever, make sure it's clean, fill it with water, not quite to the top, leave a little room for expansion and contraction and stuff, freeze it so you've got this giant block of ice. And as this starts to melt, you can actually take the water out of it, pour the water out, and you can drink that water or use it to make your coffee or whatever. So there's another idea. If you have enough room when you're camping for 2 coolers, it's really great. You can keep all your beverages in one, like anything that's not going to spoil, like beer, pop, juice boxes, stuff like that, in the one, and you don't have to worry about that because people are in and out of that one all the time, and it doesn't hold as much ice. Your other one, you can pack all your food in it, and then people are in and out of it less, so it keeps it longer. The other thing that you could do is pre-freeze your food. Like if you're going to take pork chops with you, put them in a marinade, put them in a Ziploc bag, and freeze them. Now, in the Rubbermaid container, I have my dishes. And I have my dishes all stacked nice and neat in here. So I have some dish soap. You can get biodegradable dish soap. And just, you know, if you have one of these, like this is a Sunlight one, so this isn't the same soap as what's inside. You get one of these little ones, right? And then you can reuse the bottle all the time, and you get your fancy biodegradable dish soap for camping. A couple of bigger plates. I've got 2, 4, 6 small plates, like medium-sized plates. I've got a couple of these metal wine glasses because we're always camping on our anniversary with the kids. I have lots of these cups. Now these are like a plasticky sort of cup. I'm not sure what they're made of. These are from World Famous. Same with the plates, same idea. So they resemble the old tin plates that you can get. And then I have my pot. Inside the pot, I have bowls. So that all fits nicely together. You just fit it inside the pot. You have the lid. And then I have all my cutlery. Inside there's another container. Now this is like a dishwashing container. So what we'll do is we'll put soap and water in this, and we'll wash our dishes and then dry them on the table. Okay. Then I also have a small cutting board. I have an egg lifter flipper, and then a bigger cutting knife for chopping and whatnot. So then this all fits nice and neat in this tote, and that way you're always ready for camping. So everything that you have is ready to go. So I have a separate set of camping dishes, camping silverware, or cutlery, and it's all ready to go. Alright, another thing I have is this frying pan, or a griddle if you like to call it that, and then a flat surface on the front, and it has this little spot for excess fat to run off to. So I find that this works really good on the barbecue. So the Weber Q barbecue that I have is the smallest one, and I set that inside here, and the handles just kind of stick out. You close the lid, right, when you're cooking, because it doesn't get hot enough without the lid closed. It just takes too long. So close the lid, do your cooking, open it up, do what you got to do, flip your eggs, flip your pancakes, flip your bacon, that sort of thing, and then close the lid back up. Keep the heat in. It cooks it faster. it works really, really well. I really love that setup. Now, another thing that I'll do is that if there's only one picnic table, I'll use this as a table, and I'll have, say, my barbecue here with my frying pan on it, and I'll be making my bacon, eggs, or pancakes or whatever for the kids. And then at the picnic table behind me, I'll have my Coleman stove set up, and I could have a pot of water on for some coffee or whatnot. And then you work in between the two stations. It's really easy. That leaves the rest of your table for eating space. So why do I use the totes? The totes keep everything safe and dry. It's easy to pack. And if I take the totes and put them on the front of my trailer, it frees up room inside the CRV. So inside we have, in this one, we have a gas line just in case you want to use a propane tank, a full-size tank. I usually have these small propane cylinders, which are now recyclable, so I use those now. I wrap them in oven mitts to protect them from being banged around. Inside here, we have a Weber Q barbecue, and some marshmallow roasting sticks, a couple of axes because the kids like to cut wood at the same time, and that's it for tote number one. So in my second tote, I have a couple of tarps for emergencies when it's really raining. I have my Coleman stove, and that fits nicely on top of this other tote. And this is a Rubbermaid tote. The Coleman stove sits in the inset space here. And inside this one is my dishes, camping dishes. Then I have room for more propane cylinders and a tablecloth set. So your tablecloth and your bench cloths. And then all little metal holders for that. So that all fits in this tote. Right? Alright, so one of the first things I did when I got this trailer is I took off the propane tank in the front because I don't cook inside the trailer. If you camp anywhere where there's bears and cougars and things like that, you can't eat in your trailer because the bears and the other animals will come right in through the tent part of your tent trailer. So if you've got a hard-sided trailer, no problem, you can cook and stuff inside of that. But since I'm camping in a tent trailer, I can't. So I removed the propane tank, and I had my neighbor weld on this just basically shelf onto the front of my trailer here. And on that, I put these plastic bins. So since I welded the shelf on, I can put two of these bins on and then bungee cord them down, and then they can't move. It gives me more space to carry stuff, and it gives me extra tongue weight because I needed some extra weight because the trailer was back heavy. So in this one is I have these bike racks, and you'll notice that there's a big gap in between the bike racks. So there's two really tight together, and then there's the big gap and two more really tight together. So the two bike racks are just inset enough so that the handlebars of the bikes don't stick out too far past the trailer, and you have one facing frontwards and one facing backwards so that your bikes can fit tight together. Now, the gap in the middle, what you can do is you could put two kayaks on there. You can put kayak holders on there. We have a double kayak, so we put just one single double kayak down the middle quite frequently. Or a paddleboard. It'll fit a paddleboard nicely in that space. And then on top of the CRV that I have roof racks. So if I take the 4 bikes and the kayaks on my trailer, that I can put on top of my roof racks on the CRV, I could put the paddleboard, and it does increase a lot of wind resistance. When you're biking at the campsite, obviously you want to bring a couple of locks. This one is a keyed lock. There's a lot of really nice new ones out that are like a combination lock, either with letters or numbers, it doesn't matter. They're quite nice and useful, especially with the kids. And another thing is there's these bike bags that you can get, And make sure you get a bike bag that's big enough to fit your phone in. So I've got an iPhone Plus here, and I had to get a bigger bag. And this one, just, you can mount it right on your handlebars. It's Velcro, and it has a zipper and a carrying handle if you need it. If you need to take it off, I just take everything out when I go places. But when I'm riding, I need to put my stuff somewhere out of my pocket so it doesn't fall out. That's what the bike bag's good for. There's a couple of different kinds. Here's like a CCM bag. So we have a couple of these ones so people can put them on different bikes and stuff. Another thing I find handy to put out your fire at the end of the night, you need to bring over buckets full of water. So I get a bigger bucket, like either a cleaning bucket from your mop at home, or this is a drywall bucket that I like because they're stackable. So you can get a couple of these, go over, fill them up with water, bring them back to your campsite, and at the end of the night when you're done with your fire, you dump a couple of these on, your fire's out. All right. Another thing that's kind of cool is kids' sand toys. You can get these plastic buckets. Everybody's got one of these things from like Toys R Us or whatever. And sometimes there's like little things you can make little starfish or whatever out of them. Like just these little molds. And these buckets tend not to last very long, and the shovels don't last very long. So I was at Princess Auto. Princess Auto has a lot of surplus items and stuff. So I have these really nice steel buckets, these stainless steel buckets. And so I got 3 of these to take camping for the kids. And then if you go to the gardening center, you can get these really tough plastic shovels. And your kids probably won't be able to break these. Believe me, my kids have tried over the years. Okay, sometimes when you're at the campsite, you just need some time to relax because your kids have worn you out. Some of the things you can get, I bought this washer toss game. This is a nice little thing. This is RecTech. It's another RecTech product. It is a easy setup badminton net, and you'll notice that there's no guy wires or anything with this. It's just almost like a bow. So you make your base, and then you put this bow in it, you put the net on it, and it holds the net out. It's really amazing. So stuff like that. And then, of course, for rainy days, you might want to bring a deck of cards, a couple of games the kids like, crayons and coloring books, Mad Libs, MADLIBS. If you have a chance, those are fun for a little bit older kids. And anyway, you look them up. They're pretty cool. They're a lot of fun when you're driving too. So if you've got a 4-hour drive to get to your campground, you break out the Mad Libs and everybody puts in a noun or a pronoun or a verb, and you make a silly story, and it's a lot of fun. All right, we also have these storage bins. Now, this is a 3-drawer storage bin, and it's not super big, but it'll hold your clothes for camping for a couple of days. And if you pack really well, maybe longer. So what we do is, because we're in a tent trailer, we don't have drawers or anything in the tent trailer that are like that. We take 2 of these, and everybody gets a drawer. So there's 4 kids in my family, so there's 6 of us total. So these work out good because there's 3 drawers each. So 2 of them, everybody gets a drawer, and that's where you keep your clothes for camping. And then we'll put like a laundry basket in for all your dirty clothes, throw them in the laundry basket, and that'll just sit under the table or something. Alright, another thing that we bring camping with us now is this Ryobi Battery-Powered Fan. It is a hybrid, so if you do camp on electrical sites, you can run an extension cord to it. In our tent trailer, we never camp on electrical sites, so we use the battery, and that battery will last us 2 nights on low, no problem. And it just helps to circulate some of the air through, especially on those really, really hot days. And sometimes just the noise helps you to sleep too. Another thing that we do in our trailer is that we pre-pack our chairs and things. So we actually have dedicated camping chairs that always stay in our trailer. So we have enough for us and a couple of guests. And we carry things like, actually right here, this is a retractable clothesline, which is kind of handy. And then we have our buckets, got a fire extinguisher, some rope, some frisbees that I bought this year. Also, to go along with the buckets I was showing you before, I got these really big shovels. So they're pretty big for kids to play with, so they're fun. Anyway, and then we carry some more rope. We always have duct tape. So duct tape, you'll see especially on these older tent trailers, if your zipper lets go or there's a little gap and bugs come in, right? So you put some duct tape there and then you don't have any problems. We carry, you know, just a little broom, a little dustpan, and then stuff for the dog, like the dog's bowl and dog chain and stuff. Really good thing to start your fires with is like these 2x4 offcuts. You can get some of these and just try to make some really thin slices until you hit a knot, right? You want really thin pieces to light, so come down and shave off some other pieces. Another thing to start the fire, I use obviously paper, and you can take your logs like this, and there's a couple of different ways that you start fires, and a lot of people do what's called the teepee, where you put all your logs up on an angle like this, up like that. And then there's another way called the log cabin, and I like the log cabin because it gives you the biggest, most flames of your fire, and it burns a nice long time. So we're going to set that up. So you can see over here on the side it's starting to catch. It takes a little bit of time, but it'll catch. And if you have like a lid from one of your bins, you can fan it, and that'll help to speed up the process. And if you're really bad with fires, or your wood is like really wet and you left it out all night, there's also lighter fluid. So you can use these. This is for barbecue briquettes. But if you're really bad, you can open that up and give it a little shot, and that'll help you. Alright, so now you can see why I like the log cabin. You get a lot of flame out of it. So anyway, after quite a few years of camping with the family, those are the hacks basically that I found effective, having your lists and pre-packing a lot of things and having all extra stuff that you need for camping in your trailer or in bins, packed up and ready to go. That's like, for example, if you have your tent and maybe your dishes or your barbecue all packed up in one bin, and you just pick it up and off you go, right? So my best time, I think, going camping was in under an hour. I think I packed everything that we needed up, had the trailer set, hooked up to the vehicle, and off we went. So anyway, preparation is really the key. So get everything ready in advance, and then the day that you leave, you're not running around like an idiot. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great time camping.